Right, and back we come to continue the subway. I accidentally pressed tab. Sorry for the yellow flash. So, how did we do the floors again? I think we just did kind of a up and down from this way or something, and just like pressed left. Kind of start by doing that, alternate here. Do the rail, do the floor. We'll just do like that, and that way we alternate our motions a bit as well, which is nice. Ah, there's some oil. Yeah. Well, we won't fixate on that just yet. We're just going to do the bulk of it, and we'll come back to do all of the oil and any other bits that we've missed later. We're going to have to come back and tidy little bits up. That's fine. But by doing the rest of it thoroughly, we hopefully minimize the amount of time and effort we have to spend on those harder to get bits. Thorough job, he says, missing bits, but feels like we're making good progress. I was always caught out on the other side though, because when you're staring at the floor, there's not much point of reference. But let's see how we go. Hopefully about halfway down. Not sure whether to go all the way to the end on this side or do it half by half. I think we just go all the way to the end. We just don't care that the tunnel is technically halved. I don't want to do ahead enough that I'm not having to look back too far, because that's kind of annoying, because your washer is in the way, so you can't tell if you missed something. At least this way if I'm just looking ahead further to like the halfway point or something, and then I can do this bit and then continue. That way we get a backward angle on the previous bit of railing. Oh yeah, there's the halfway point. Ooh, there's a bit of rust on there? Oh no, it was just a random water splash texture. I'm kind of surprised that the tracks themselves haven't been rusty. But pleasantly surprised. I don't want them to be. So I'm rather glad. Would not have put it past them to make them all rusted up. Probably don't even need the short extension on, actually. Most of this. Feels like the track is too skinny. Let's try stubbying it. Is it making much difference? I mean, it's not making it worse, that's the main thing. I haven't paid attention to the tracks well enough to know when these little short bits come up as to whether that represents how far along I am or anything. And a bit more oil there, looks like, in the middle. So that's both ends now. See how much that matters in the perspective of such a large section, like such a large feature. See how much that bit of oil really matters, how much I have to spray over it. We're going to have to turbo it really slowly, I suspect, to get rid of it. Could potentially use soap for it, but I haven't been using soap to this point. Technically it's got nothing to do with the washer I'm using. You know, I'm still using the basic washer with its soap nozzle, but I haven't been using it, so I don't think I'll bother starting now. If we can do it as a no soap run as well as a basic washer run, then hey, 2 boxes ticked. Okay, so what was my strategy next for the next section? Was it to do basically this? I'm missing a big bit there, but I get that from looking the other way? But this way I'm getting a better angle. Let's put the short extension back on again. I'm getting a better angle for underneath that trap. So yes, I'm missing out on a big bit here. But I can get that just from the other side, firing back this way. I've got to do the other side of the track anyway. And I either do that looking down and walking the end to end of the track, or I do that in the middle there, just looking back this way. And I could theoretically do even further away with this sort of angle as well, but I'd have to change nozzles too much, and I can't be bothered with that. Kids out on their scooters on the driveway again. Good day for it. There's the halfway point again. So we've only managed to put on 3% since we started back up again, but it's still decent progress. Well, that's a big oil stain. Alright, that's this direction done. This. Okay, this bit of oil here, let's just see how hard it is to clear. Not too bad. It is just a case of going slow over it with the red. And that gets rid of the worst of it. At least it's pretty clearly delineated, and it's not like the mold where I'm having to basically cover the whole area again. As usual, it's mostly just a case of don't go too fast over it. Just make sure that you clear it. Realistically, oil stains should probably use something else, but like you would need to use some sort of soap because water alone is not gonna shift oil. That's a couple of the big stains gone, so that's nice. Right, what was my approach for here then? Because I need to just do this whole stretch. And I've got to do this rail here. I mean, I could do the rails, I guess. No, we'll leave it at that. Go away. That, probably. So we could just do this, just to get this done. Ah, there's some oil there. Also see some bits that I missed from that other oil stain as well, now that I have a different angle on it. Still yellow first again. Because we do ideally want... Oh, I'm moving out of the groove there, because I want to stay in this central bit if I can. So I was finding when doing the walls that I was able to stay in it and just move sideways without popping out. Just can't be on too steep an angle. Cool. Because yeah, we want the track to be cleaned as part of this pass, so it's not just about doing the bit of floor underneath. We could be doing the track in front of me as I go along too, actually, but never mind. The closer one. Of course the track's going to ding well before anything else, isn't it? Before I get to the end. Yup. Makes no sense, but whatever. It's like 4 sections of track still to go, and it gave me the ding on that. Seriously? What's the best way to do this now? I wonder. Because the angles are kind of awkward to do the central bit by... by just walking along. It's kind of awkward to do it like this as well. But this way we're getting like this track directly in front of me done as well. We just do it in sections. And work our way back up, I guess, from here. Get a weird angle on that, but do the oily bit directly underneath now as well, may as well. If I miss bits on the slope that's nearest to me, then I can tidy that up from the other side, because I'll be having to do the other side of this track from the middle as well anyway. Next section... Nice big section over here without any oil. That's good. Ooh, there's the oil again. Yeah. Gross. You'd think it would have just slipped all the way down into the middle instead of being up on the angle, but whatever. Oil being a liquid and everything. Like, I can understand it being on the sides as it dribbled down or something, but it's a weird pattern. I wonder if the track in front of me will just be clean enough, given the amount of track that has been left when it's dinged for the others. Almost wonder whether or not it'll just give it to me just from doing this side. The side and the top. Big difference between tunnel floors. So we're halfway down the tunnel overall. Mysterious Woman. That just reminds me of Mysterious Girl by Peter Andre back in the day. Anyone else remember Peter Andre? I barely do. Pretty much one-hit wonder, I think. See, this oil stain makes more sense, because it's all just pooled down in the middle. It's much more what I'd expect. And there's the track. And how many sections do we still have to go? Like 1, 2, 3, yeah, at least 4 sections of track still to go. But the game says, nope, that's good enough. 4.5. Right, so that is this stretch done. So... Huh. Now what? Guess we can go along like this now, and then... But then we have to look back this way to do underneath there. and this track. I guess if we go along like looking down like this, we do this track and that side there, rather than standing on it as we go along. I mean, we could be doing the platform itself too, right? The platform ledge. Because we've got to do that too. And it's just a matter of just swapping nozzles. Like doing it by section. We should probably have done the platform before doing the floor anyway, to be perfectly honest, but oh well. A bit late now. I mean, I don't think I did. I think I did this order on the other side anyway, still. Go along to the point that I can see some reflections to see that I've missed some rust. And just need to make sure that we do everything else up to this point as well. Track, platform, and rust. Scratch. That's what it feels like I'm doing. I feel like I'm just scratching the wall. Wrong way. You ever have those things where you just randomly click sometime? Just finger twitch, randomly click or right click. Oh good, a section with no rust. And now back to the rust again. I need to stop twisting so much that I end up twisting my camera, so I want to keep looking down as much as possible. I guess I should just not try and do too much at once. I keep looking up because I'm scratching away the rust. Weird that I'm somehow in the dip here, but I can see it in front of me. Weird. I'll just do it one section at a time, I think, and it'll be a lot less messing about with the camera. definitely, once again, taking longer than we have been, just because we're having to deal with rust. At least rust is more understandable than paint or mold. So again, why is this metal? I feel that it should just be concrete at the edge, not metal. Almost halfway. That's a good start. I mean, I can't complain too much about this. I mean, I've got huge walls of graffiti still waiting for me. Oh, this tunnel floor is really close to being done. I'm really hoping that it doesn't get too demanding in terms of, like, I might not have to clean up every patch of oil just because I've done a thorough enough job everywhere else. And oil is, it's just another stain. There's this bit, for example. Now we're halfway. We'll see, I guess. Surprised the oil isn't on the track itself. It seems to just be on the floor. See, I was doing the track the other side, looking this way, but it seems I missed the fact that that bit of oil was there. I mean, I was expecting to just come back and do all the oil separately anyway, I guess, so... But since I'm here, I may as well do this bit. Oh, missed the rust. Still gonna do that. Let's just keep going with this, to be honest. I can see there's rust there. Some on the lower section too. Almost to the gate section. So most of the way down this end, that track is going to ding again very quickly, I'm sure. Probably won't even get past the next section. keep waiting for that track to go ding, because it can't be far away now. There it is. Yep. Predictably early. Barely made it to the gate section. And we've got that whole graffiti wall there, and the other one, the other end to look forward to still. Yeah. See, I don't mind this rust compared to that. Platform ledge, we're hoping we've done enough without having to go hunting for more bits of rust. It's been looking pretty good as I've been going along. I have not noticed many defects still left behind. There's been like a couple of spots that haven't been reflective. There's a bit off to the right just at the moment, but not massive. Hopefully not significant. There. Almost there. And we've put on another almost 10%, which is good. Nice. Alright, so it's largely just these bits of oil now, I suspect, for the tunnel floor. And like the tunnel floor itself is really close. So we've got just random spots all up here. Be interesting to see how much we actually need to clean off before it goes ding, because it is really close. Okay, still had lots to go, and it gave it to me. Nice. And this one is also almost done, despite these huge big bits of oil. So once again, hopefully, we'll pretty much just get on to the next one, and it'll just ding. And that's the reward for being thorough. Do a good enough job on the stuff that's easy to shift, and you don't have to spend quite as much time scratching away at this stuff. Come on. There we go. Nice. 72%. That is those done. Excellent. Time to have a quick stretch. Okay. Ceiling time. Will the short extension do it? Actually, I think on the other side, wasn't I doing... I think I was standing on the tracks still. Whatever, this works. Should probably also turn around it so I can actually see where I'm going, eh? That might be handy. Yeah, I think because we were standing on the track so that we could get this lip off to the right easily enough as well. Even though it's technically part of the platform ceiling to the right. But rather than us having to go along and chase that, because we're getting a bit of an oblique angle on it here, it might not be quite good enough. Well, we'll find out. It's just otherwise when you stand on the tracks, you've got to use like the extra long extension or something. Probably be looking almost directly up when I do this stuff anyway, to be perfectly honest. The clock we might come back for, because we're not going to need to do the top of that anyway, which we kind of need the ladder from the side for anyway. But the clock's good because that tells us that we got about halfway down this half. Yeah, I'm not getting a very good angle on this stuff now. So I moved over to get around the clock. I mean, I guess we can just go along the side anyway. Nice. Where's the ladder? There. There. Ah, should have gone to the next one down. Probably need a turbo this or something, don't I? Nope, there we go. Cool. Where was I? Basically do the same thing for the rest of it. I mean, I can also just do like that first and then go the middle section, realistically. That would be the smart thing to do. Get down to this point, do the edges, and then fill in the gaps. Did we already do this clock? No. Still weird to me that they have a clock either end, but the platform screen just one in the middle, instead of having like a couple of platform screens so you could see it if you're closer. Done this. Hey, we haven't done this light yet. Interesting. Turn all the rest. Nope, signal. Fuck. Nice. Okay, so hopefully we've done a good enough job of the side bit there. This clock still needs a fair amount of attention, I feel. There we go. Alright, well. Same thing back the other way. like that I'm 74% done already. I know it's going to slow down a lot for the graffiti sections on the walls. I'm not particularly looking forward to, 75% now. And then the floor section should go pretty quickly, I think. But then the middle, where I've got that roof over there to do, I've got all of the benches and everything, and there was a lot of paint across a lot of those features. So I suspect the final 16% after we've done both tunnels is gonna take a while. It's gonna be a grind to the finish, I think. Around the pillars. Still weird to me that the pillars shift so much from being closer in to the center to being pushed out onto the platform. Go too fast, just take it easy. Do this bit while I still have a bit of distance. Okay, halfway point. Let's see how generous it is, see whether or not I need to catch up on the sides at all. Maybe. Yeah, I think there's bits that I've missed. That's a shame. Yeah, there we go. I should have done it from like the front bit there from down here so that I could do this. Oh yeah, especially along here. Ugh. Yep. Okay. Back to this point though. Should always make sure to do the bits by the pillars from a bit of a distance as well, I think, because it kind of undercuts slightly. That's going to bite me looking straight up like this too. Another thing that could have been done from more of a distance if I'd done the other part from the tracks first, I could have done around the tops of the pillars as well. Yeah, never mind. That was the second pillar. then we should be coming up to the gate. Sure enough. $76. We'll get 77 by the end of this ceiling bit wonder, maybe. We've got 8% until this tunnel basically is finished. Do we push on for that now, knowing that I've got all of this graffiti to do, or do we break it up? I think we'll probably take another session break and come back to it for the final push to the next 8%. And then either way, we finish up with only the middle section to do. There we go, lovely. Alright, so that was the easy stuff done. The platform's going to be easy, the pillars aren't going to be too bad. But these walls, man. These walls are not going to be fun. So, time to take another little session break. Another stretch. Have some more to drink. And then we'll be back to it.